Oh, sorry about that, y'all. It was already up and running, kind of slept up. I always love my mama. Bum, ba, bum, ba, bum. My number one. Ba, ba, ba. Always love my mama. Say hi, y'all. Or hey, or whatever. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah, mama. Yeah, she's one of a kind. You got yours and I got mine. Hopefully she herself is in heaven. You know what I'm saying? Ain't that right, Iron Man? Iron Man, Captain America's, Navy SEALs, U.S. Marines, etc. You all better appreciate this social media broadcast and video of mine because, you know, feeling kind of funky at the moment. I said funky, not foul. I ain't out here to perpetrate, you know, regardless of what somebody else may assume about me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Peeps and folks, my social media family, being of any subscribers as well as any visitors to my own immediate personal social media channel and or chat room and or comment section or to my channel, chat room and comment section or whatever I've said. Yeah, speaking correct, proper standard English grammar of the American dialect of some such qualities and quantities or not. Not that I had meant to sound and or seem like I'm butchering it. Like some kind, sort, or type of a foreigner, be one, some or such among the likes of others that could possibly be one of these here Mexican drug cartel lords or Islamic Muslim terrorists attempting to blend in with the other ones, being of whom are trying to think of it with mass intentions to get American citizenship for themselves within this global pandemic. You know, at one time or another, I was calling it the, the what you call the corona homo virus or the, you know, the COVID-19 global faggot pandemic, but I had to, you know, rephrase that, so that, you know, and no disrespect meant to our former or ex-presidency or president of the USA, twice impeached, but then yet twice acquitted, Carrot Top, you know, when I speak on matters, being of which is regarding making reference to something along the line of thought, whereas he was calling it, the corona Chinese virus before he had, you know, re-nicknamed it, though the other nickname is pretty much so offensive, but not as offensive as the original one he nicknamed it as. Whereas after that, he had got to calling it by nickname the Corona China virus, you know. But then I would much rather he himself was still in the White House than Sleepy Joe, who sleeps during a climate control conference. Not that I'm wagging the dog as a colloquial oxymoron or whatever. I say it's a corn phrase, a cliche, meaning somebody is attempting to change the subject. Yeah, I would rather have Carrot Top in the White House than Sleepy Joe, who sleeps during a climate control conference. Among other things. Not to mention making the U.S. military lose face in the foreign country or nation, third world country of Afghanistan, you know, being of which has one of the largest drug commodities, illegal big business, a $1 billion making corporation, being of the poppy seed there. That's probably why the Russians were formerly, of an occupied military force there as well as the U.S. military. Anyway, though, so much for that conversation of dialogue, you know. And speaking about the closet commie president elect with his secret ties to the underworld, like politician Senator Hillary Clinton with her bogus hundreds of thousands of emails of Russian collusion. Anyway, though, getting back though to something much closer to home, yes. And be sure to check out the footnotes in due regard in reference to this one particular present social media broadcast or video of mine or whatever you all want to call it. Just don't come on my channel or into my chat room in our comment section coming off like somebody of a character being of whom could possibly have me reflect upon another one being of the likes of a proverbial neighbor from damn hell, dickhead prick. Ooh, excuse my language, pardon French, scratch that last, but of a character among the dime a dozen public nuisances of problem neighbors, acting like a closet psychopath, sociopath, sadomasochist, sadist, cowardly bully, and or terrorist wannabe, moonlighting as a spook that sit by the door as well as a midnight cowboy prowler, and possibly likewise as well all the same as some kind sort or type of character of a home invader, intruder, crank caller, stalker, and or internet troll for that matter. Did you get everything in there that you wanted to spill the beans on Mr. Halloween 365 days a year or 366 days a year, depending on whether or not a calendar year would become or be considered as a leap year. Yeah. Then how are you all doing? A funny thing happened to me upon the way to a place of business premises of properties, being of which was quite a hair raiser, had my life fly before my eyes, whereas it could have possibly had become as it had the potentials to become. So I can't even get my words together thinking about this here, reflecting upon that case scenario situation that could have possibly or probably would have proven to become or be a life-threatening issue or case scenario or situation if cooler heads had not prevailed. But then we'll get to that shortly, being of which is the original topic of discussion, being of which I want to give my own personal views and opinions and speaking upon some of such matters as that being, or let me reiterate, or as I would, in other words, debate it, of a given argument, of a topic of discussion, of a line of thought, for dialogue, conversation, regardless of whether or not that my person were to engage in a Q&A session here and now with any of you all, being of my social media family, of any subscribers and or any visitors to that being of my own immediate personal social media channel, chat room, in our comment section. Then how are you all doing? Hopefully every and all are doing at least okay, if not better yet to be said, all right, or if not best of all to be said, to be feeling blessed and stressed, more blessed and stressed, or too blessed to possibly become or be stressed. You and yours, your family and friends, hopefully me and mine, likewise as well, are all the same. That's why I say, regardless of whether or not that my person I'm butchering the English language of the American dialect, Yeah. And do bear with me while I try to get things up in motion, or as a habit here, to speak my mind, and hopefully nobody takes offense. And if you have a problem with that being my own immediate personal social media channel, chat room, and a comment section, then there's something like hundreds, thousands, or maybe millions for that matter of other social media channels, chat rooms, and our comment section that you yourself could possibly check out, as in, take in, or become a visitor to become a participant thereof. You don't necessarily have to you know take to that in mind if you're going to come off like some kind, sort of, or type of a negative internet troll who could possibly remind me of a neighbor from damn hell among the dime a dozen public nuisances of problem neighbors of, brain dead, brainless, bonehead, butthead characters, like the one I had encountered in the place of business atmosphere for its premises of properties, whereas the cooler heads did not prevail. Well, I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, but with all things considered, being of another black male or another brother, he's no brother of mine if he damn near have had me have a Fred Sanford. Elizabeth, I'm coming up. Assuming things about me, and as it was regarding making reference to his children in a place of business, whereas I was trying to pay a bill, and I'm wondering if a white Karen of a closet Klan or closet neo-Nazi could have possibly have had something to do with that major misunderstanding that she was seated beside me before I had encountered that of nonsense coming from him when I had left that place of business to go to another place of business to get me a bite to eat. And he confronted me about some or such, and I'm wondering if she had, gone about, you know, dropping a dime on me to make it seem like I was coming off all foul with his children and asking them a question, Okay. But anyway, though, we'll get back with that short, you know. And after I complete this line of thought by saying, if you come on my channel, disregard what you heard in the background. It's just an interruption coming from the same of the likes of miserable neighbors from hell, or likes this kind. Acting like they don't have anything better to do, like as if I got to focus my attentions upon him all the time, because he's not the center of my universe. That spotter area is reserved for the God of my own understanding as a believer. But anyway, as I was about to say before I was so rudely interrupted, if any of you come on my channel and come into my chat room and our comment section coming off like a negative internet troll, then you can bounce, because I will not tolerate it. I have a zero tolerance level for that nonsense in its own right. And as I will silence your chat, and then furthermore, if I deem it necessary, I will block you. And very few people or persons being of whom I block do I permit re-access to that being of my own immediate personal social media channel, chat room, and our comment section, because the majority of most are blocked permanently. So don't go there with me and we won't have a problem, okay? And now that I have gotten the preliminaries or the basic introduction out the way, at least I think I have, giving you the Cliff Notes version, a general idea of what I was trying to say so far as that is concerned. Then let me just dive into the topic of discussion, being of the issue at hand, or for that being of a subject matter or of a given argument with the many different views and or opinions to be possibly affiliated, associated with, and representing thereof the same, the said in question, the former previous prior mention, being which I'm about to, get into now and speaking much further upon it. Being of the unfavorable incident of a case scenario event that could have proven to become or be life-threatening for that the person or person of I myself as believing God was really freaked me out. So how much more it would have done so if I was to be still an unbeliever or a non-believer. And as it is regarding making reference to that being which I had mentioned earlier, regarding of how I was confronted by another black male within a place of business, another place of business after I left the one that he was in. I didn't see him anywhere. He must have been scoping me at a distance, at a distance, being of this other brother, different brother, a male person, trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, all things considered. He come at me with whoa. I mean, he didn't. Don't get me wrong. He didn't employ the uses of his profanity, or whereas he himself had not or did not use cuss words to simply say, but nevertheless, it was pretty much sort of a frightening experience for me myself. I being a person of my same self as believing God, like I said before, so I say again and reiterate. So how much more it would have been if I had still been a non-believer? I mean, you could hear his attitude, in his tone of voice, and you could see it in his facial features or expression, where he kind of looked more or less highly pissed, for a minute there before I had explained to him what the dealio was, as they say, you know. And whereas this is like supposed to be the third installment in due regard in reference to these matters, or the third video or social media broadcast describing the case of situation, as I have done a couple few, no, at least two or three, no, at least a couple or two before this present one is what I meant to say. Correction, you know, describing the same negative experience, being of which could have possibly become really that much more chaotic or mayhem if cooler heads had not prevailed, you know. And as I'm still kind of like reeling from it or traumatized by it, you know, regardless of how I could possibly already suffer from PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder, as prior military enlistment personnel, Yeah. So I was seated in this place of business for a cell phone company, trying to think of it with my intention to pay my bill, And I was seated next to this white girl, Caucasian woman, and I kind of wonder if she played a major part in that misunderstanding between I myself and this other black male of a brother, And whereas now I'm thinking about, you know, as a result of those developments, I'm thinking about, reintroducing myself to the line of thought as I have romanced it of, you know, getting for myself some such training on a firing range, as well as I'm thinking about, that, like seriously, registering for a licensed firearm of a lethal weapon of a make or model, just in case, because that had really freaked me out, that experience, And I'm wondering if the white girl of a possible potential can of a closet Klan or closet neo-Nazi may had, informed or drop a dime on me. Not that I was doing anything wrong, to violate anybody's civil and human rights. And hopefully that other brother of a black male was not on the verge of doing so in regard and reference to me due to a misunderstanding where she could have told him something foul about me to start something with me. As I remember, she was kind of looking at me, back and forth on the sly, and then some, from being on the slide to being more obvious, looking at me while I was talking to those children of his, like asking them where their mom was at, and where one of them said she's over there somewhere, right, and whereas I'm saying in more words or less, well, if she was present right here within this immediate vicinity area for this atmosphere, premises, probably a place of business, then I could possibly, give her a 10 spot or 20 spot of American currency, monetary finances for all of you as an early Christmas present or gift, Then shortly after, a customer representative had serviced me, and I left that place of business and went into this other one for a restaurant. No, my bad, correction, fast food place. And like shortly after, within the first couple few minutes that I was there, this other black brother of a male comes in there and confronts me and asks me that other question, the question of, or whatever I said. Were you talking to my children? Did you say something to my children? Blah, 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 they, yada, 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 woo, 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 all that, I mean, and whereas my life flew before my eyes, I'm like, what? Where is this coming from? And I didn't think about how, you know, it could have been that one white girl or Caucasian woman of a possible and potential Karen or closet Klan or closet neo-Nazi may have played a great part in this misunderstanding between him and I being on this other black male of a brother. So I just went ahead and told him what I had done or did. So far, word wise, I explained to him, I didn't say anything foul to your children. If that's what you think. Well, paraphrase my quote is that. I'm like, no, all I told them, all I was saying to them in more words or less, I asked them that question, where your mother at? Then I said from there, you know, I had to follow up with the statement, well, if she was present within this immediate vicinity area of the atmosphere for this place of business, then I could possibly, you know, be inclined to give her a 10 spot or a 20, of some such, as I was saying, in more words or less, you know, uh, you know, US dollars, for herself to give to you all or to take care of necessary business at hand to possibly get y'all a early Christmas present gift. And then, whereas he left it at that, he left the business. But I'm still traumatized behind that experience. I mean, Lord have mercy. That's not the half of that's an understatement because I was thinking that I could be laid out on the ground in a pool of blood, looking like I'm the relative of a block of Swiss cheese with so many holes in it. I explained that to the different security officers and police officials, etc. You know, well, for where I'm at, I'm in a vicinity area, neighborhood community, whereas you know the different residents can not only dial the emergency number of 911 for the regulars, boys in blue, being in the police, but also for the neighborhood police, you know, for one of these here, multiracial, prosperous neighborhood communities of for the vicinity area within city limits of the city for one of a major metropolitan city in the Midwest of the USA, you know. So I'm like, wow. So from there, I'm seriously contemplating once again giving much more serious thought to practicing at a firing range, and then from there follow up shortly by getting registered for a licensed firearm of a lethal weapon of a make or model. Because that really freaked me out. I'm like, what in the world? And as that brother was leaving the place of business otherwise, I had, though it was against my better judgment, so to speak, but it wasn't anything foul that I said either. I said to him, no, I'm not one of those characters. But then he didn't say anything. I guess it finally sinked in that he was wrong. He was out of pocket. Like right. So he didn't bother to answer one way or another. Yeah. Whereas if he really wanted to show that it was a misunderstanding, he could have said, "Oh, my bad, brother. I'm sorry to have brought it to you like that. Like right. But it's just that somebody said you was talking to my children. You know how that is. With all these creeps and cranks out here in the streets and so forth, like my neighbor from damn hell. You know, closet creep and crank. Not so much a closet crank compared to a closet creep. And I get to wondering whether or not he himself be making just as much or more. You know that what I mean say well, correction, my bad. Whereas I be wondering if he be creeping just as much, if not that much more than how he be making extreme and excessive noises of different sorts or types, upon a daily and a nightly basis, attempting to make my life a living damn hell, attempting to run me out of house and home, attempting to, trespass my premises, properties, of place of residence for that matter. Not only even when I'm gone, but when I'm here on my premises, trying to get my beauty rest, trying to get my Z, trying to call it a night, you know, or hopefully that other brother that I met out in the street wasn't trying to put me to sleep otherwise, like he could possibly, this one nigga from hell could possibly attempt to do. to make my life a living damn hell, as he himself could possibly be other likes of the rank and file of one of my stalkers as well as coming off like a neighbor from hell, one damn dozen public nuisance problem name, and likewise could possibly be moonlighting as a crank caller and internet troll, etc. So I'm like getting back to some of such a wow, where did that come from? Whereas if this other brother of a male, no brother of mine, if you come up like that, I'm trying to give him a benefit of all things considered. If you really wanted to make amens to my person, then just keep silent while walking out the door after I explained to him what I did, and whereas he just walked it off from there. And if you really want to make amens to show no hard feelings or how he's sorry for the misunderstanding that we had between ourselves, he could have said, "Oh, well, I'm sorry, brother. It's just that somebody told me that you was talking to my children, and you know how it is with all these creeps and cranks out here upon an increase in this world that we're living in with the global pandemic and all. I just thought, you can understand where I'm coming from as a parent. You must put yourself in my shoes." But then I'd be like, but then you must put yourself in my shoes, because that really freaked me out. I mean, why couldn't he have brought it to me in the place of business? But I guess the white girl took it upon herself to try to further convince him to try to get something started. The white girl of a possible and potential closet Karen and closet Klansman, closet Nazi. Funny thing is, I went back to that place of business, but quite a while after to try to let a customer rep know, the one that had served me. If you can give me a list of other places of business of this nature, because I don't necessarily have a company, because I had come subjected to experiencing a really chaotic situation. I mean, it had my life fly before my eyes. It could have possibly become or be of a potentially threatening one, a possible potential threat on my life, the way I was approached by another male of a black brother within the store facilities, premises, properties atmosphere. And then when I went back there explaining it to the customer representative, I noticed I didn't see her there anymore, the white girl of a Karen, closet clean, closet nice. I didn't see him either. I'm like, woman, I'm like, wow, could it possibly be, yeah, this white girl, she could have possibly been attempting to start something with me, trying to get something going between me and this other black girl, because she was seated right across from the black children herself, and was sitting on the side of me. So that's pretty much so what happened to me most recently, y'all, years. And it really threw my day for a loop. It ruined my Thanksgiving Day holiday. And now, whereas I'm thinking, as I said before, so I say again, so I paraphrase not for exactly. I'm thinking about getting for myself firearm training, as well as I'm thinking about, you know, getting registered for a licensed firearm of a lethal weapon of whatever make or model, just in case. Disregard what you heard in the background, just this idiot, sicko of a neighbor from hell, cocksucker, as I was saying, okay. You know. I mean, that freaked me out because, in times like these, we need a savior, or rather, a correction, the savior, the best one yet, our Lord and Savior Christ the Messiah delivered. Because you don't know how they could have turned out. I mean, if the police were not present at that given moment in time, or could not get there in a reasonable amount of time, and could show up only after all damn hell could have broke loose. But I don't know where this other brother's mindset was at. I don't know how he could have been thinking. He could have been like, right, you know, or for that matter, even so, he could have been like, well, okay, that's what you say, but I tell you what, brother, regardless of whatever the case or situation is, let me tell you something. I don't want anybody that I don't know talking to my children, okay? And let's just leave it at that. Trying to give you the benefit of the doubt with all things consider. Put yourself in my shoes. I'm just gonna tell you once, for this given moment, if you see my children in a place of business that being where we was at, don't talk to them. Don't say a word to them. So we won't have a problem. I could be wrong, but without things considered, I mean, put yourself in my shoes. Not that I'm saying that you're a character, and not that I'm saying you ain't a character, but to be on the safe side, and this I say not just for you, but for me as well, for the both of us. If you see my children in the atmosphere of a place of business, I don't care. Uh, Whatever the question may be, don't ask them it, or whatever statement you have to say to them. If your mind gets to wondering, even if you are legit, still don't say anything to them, because I don't know you, bro. And as far as I could be one of those other brothers that be much more likely to, jump off the deep end with you like snap, crackle, and pop. Ain't hearing no ifs and but don't care, you know, what went down, how it could have been in play, that be of a less reasonable mind and just decide to, you know, put one in you, bro. You know what I'm saying? I would appreciate it. You know, then if he had, come to me more like that mature male while we was there, then that's an insult to injury to come out of a place of business and then bring it to me, you know, in another place of business. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But I guess he took it. He took it that, saying how I went into that place of business. I'm not on the run, so maybe it registered in his mind. Maybe this white girl Karen is out of pocket. You know what I'm saying? Because this brother, he's in this other place of business, so it's not like he's running like he's a fugitive of the law or someone, or a usual suspect or public enemy number one. So maybe he is legit, you know, as well as I could, well, I could be wrong as well. Maybe he is legit as well as I should give him the benefit of the doubt. Well, you know what I mean. I think you all get the general idea of what I'm trying to say. I mean, really spook me. I can't even get my words together so much to think about this. I mean, after all, he's right here in his other place of business. If he was guilty of something, you think he just go ahead and pull up from camp and wouldn't even think to get him a bite to eat in a business close by, you know. So something don't add up here, you know. Okay, but then let me bring to him see where his mind is at. If he's all there upstairs, and I explained to him like I did, and so he left. What in the world? Then I went back to that place of business, and he wasn't there as well as she wasn't. Could possibly had thought from there. Oh, this brother, he could have probably or all the same could have been thinking before. He would have left with his children elsewhere. You know, from that vicinity. This brother, he may after it would have registered in the mind, he may get some resentment behind this. And as well as I got to, or as I could have assumed things. Then he would have a right to if he's in the right and he didn't do anything wrong, you know. But you must understand where I'm coming from my point of view. Put yourself in my shoes. So that's what went down, y'all. You hear what I'm saying? Peeps and folks, that's what I had become subject to experiencing most recently, for the atmosphere, premises, of properties, a place of business. You hear what I'm saying? It really freaks me out, y'all. For years, like I said, my life flew before my eyes and everything. Now I'm thinking about, you know, get some firearm training and then, you know, from there, putting on my gorilla suit, like Navy SEALs or American Patriot, U.S. Marine, etc. Get for myself a licensed firearm on as I register for one, just in case, because man, I feel like I've been raped, You know what I'm saying? Basically, as I get to reflect upon some such matter, like he confused me with one of these sexual predators out here into woman and children, into woman and into children, like some gay pedophile Catholic priest. But then the average Catholic priest is a gay pedophile, or the majority of Catholic priests are gay pedophiles, and could possibly likewise be possessing card carrying membership to NAMBLA. What is the North Atlantic Men Board Lovers Association or National Alliance of Men Board Lovers Association? As well as they could possibly have card carrying memberships to that of Pizzagate and Comet Ping Pong in Disneyland. Anyway, though, I'm gonna leave you all with this here by saying, you know, so I paraphrase and not quote exactly. As I would give the basic intro, I would also speak upon a subject matter or cover a few topic discussions to be debated or given arguments with many different views and or opinions to be affiliated associated with thereof and representing, depending on how I feel at some given moment in time. And then I will give the closing, conclusion to that, as I usually do. Likewise, as well, I was saying by saying, if you haven't gotten Christ as your own personal Lord and Savior, I would hope that you would think to do so now while the blood is still running warm in your veins. By recognizing and realizing what he himself had done or did upon the cross of Calvary on the hill of Golgotha, suffering at the hands of some such Roman soldiers up on the orders of their superiors, religions, otherwise Pharisees, Sadducees, centurions, Caesars, and set up. But then, nevertheless, he went to that cross of Calvary to become the perfect sacrifice, the only sacrifice for you as well as for me, to fulfill biblical prophecy. Become the Lamb of God to take away the sins of the world, so that if any of us, being of whatsoever races and of whatever walks of life, factions of society, lifestyle preferences, being of the old, young, alike, both two sexes, gender, male and female, represent not only the human species, but then that's the global community within this post 911 era of a new millennium apocalyptic day and age, where the doomsday clock is now at a couple of few minutes to midnight, compared on to our former period prior to then was at a quarter of midnight, for these rather biblically prophetic times. Word to profess some of such faith in him. From there we come and be blessed in one God, none more ways than one. First and foremost, with his salvation, being of which is the only means by which any of us can or could possibly come and be citizens of the kingdom of heaven. And second of all, with his deliverance. But first, you have got to get not just the most important blessing, being of his salvation. Otherwise, you have nothing coming so far as blessing is concerned. And once you were to make that transition for the great beyond and hereafter, afterlife, your final destination would be among the rest of the unsaved, lost, damned human souls of unbelievers and non-believers to be tortured and terrorized by the devil and the demon forever, compared to how we as believers, as in Protestants and Christians, will be across that great divide that separates heaven from hell in the company of like-minded believers, of other, Christians and Protestants, in the company of God and his angels, likewise, as well as citizens of the kingdom of heaven. You all take care. Peace.